Got you back. And the OBS is reconnected.
Okay.
I don't think we lost. And the stream should be starting up again. And we're back up. Okay. All right, Robert. Once more with feeling.
So frustrating.
I know. God, I gotta talk to my cable provider.
No, it's not your.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying like I'm doing anything wrong. Just like, yeah. It's just. But my internet connection is shit though, because I recently tested it again, and it's like only at like 30 megabits. Crazy because my friend says we have the same provider, but he says that he gets 200 megabits.
Wow.
Yeah, so I gotta call him up and like, hey, what the? It's not like there's really much choice. It's like Spectrum and AT&T.
Yeah, that's a whole that's a whole another gripe I have.
Yeah, it's a whole another gripe that I won't get into. But let's just keep on with the conversation.
But anyways, what I was saying is that the idea of allowing people to come into a nation, not having obviously ours is very unique. What I mean that very similar to the Roman Empire because it was created out of all different people groups coming together, and obviously the Romans took over, but ours was we had free set of ideals, and when people don't buy into those ideals, we now have is fractured. Have people who essentially they're fleeing one country to come here, but like the ideals of their own country, and then you have people that live next door who are American, have American ideals, and then another person has coming from another country with their ideals, coming in, it becomes huge. And you can't, country cannot function that way for long. Because when things are financially well, when your people are getting fed, everything's good, everything is fine. But when things start breaking down, we just kind of fracture into private warfare. I think even like Owen Benjamin kind of talked about this too. It's like it was like, oh, he's so racist. It's like what we were saying is like, if something goes down, if like there's some sort of end time type of event, people are going towards their own tribe. And if you don't look like person, it might, could be a disaster. It's like he's kind of talking about this similar idea because essentially we're in tribal.
Right, and it's not, and we're not saying that people are going to start lining up on ethnic lines, but take us for example, me and Robert, we don't look alike at all. We're two people from different people's groups, yet we share the same values. So when shit goes down, I can trust Robert to have my back, and he can trust that I'll have his back. And that's all that we're saying. It's just like it's not like so we're not saying that there's you have to line up with your people. It's just like your people are the people that you share things with, like heritage, language, cult, or not heritage, but sorry, that goes, but culture. culture, values, traditions, language. Those are the things that make up a people. But if you share those, then then you can be a people, and you could look different from each other.
Exactly. Yeah. That's, but I don't want to give too much away because I want to watch this video because it's really yeah, and yeah, just kind of stuff. A little bit scary,
Right.
but a little very.
Yeah, I'll link both the Stefan Molynuex video. It's really long, but I would beg people
Worth it.
to.
Totally.
It's important. Stick it out. Watch the whole thing, because if you are anything like me, you'll see the progression. You'll see the timeline of events for the Roman Empire, and then you'll see them in American history. But you'll be freaked the fuck out, because because what happened to the Romans over literally 1,000 years happened to America within 200 years.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Scary stuff.
it'll freak you the fuck out. So yeah, I'll in the description of the video I will link both the Stefan Molynuex video and also the lecture by Camille Pagillia, because I think it's important, because like here's a woman who came up like who's definitely kind of in the same vein as like Christina Hoff Sommers, like the kind of like the second wavers.
Yeah.
Which because like even like she's a lesbian feminist scholar, but she I know it's hilarious that I'm like promoting this woman, but again she's of the ilk of Christina Hoff Sommers, based kind of second wavers, not like these third or fourth wave feminists, where it's like if you have a penis, that you have a penis, then you're evil.
Yeah.
But but to kind of like to mental jujitsu them is all you have to say is, well, I have a female vagina, or I have a male vagina. How dare you assume how dare you assume my gender?
Exactly.
So yeah, I'll link
But
both videos in the description.
well, should we get into the film before
All
I
right,
crap that
yes,
on it?
let's because this it's becoming a bit of a shit show tonight, more so than usual. Again, I apologize for the hiccups. I swear, we're trying to do our best here.
It's a Hershey stain special tonight.
Yeah, Hershey Squirt special. I always, it's funny. I always love that euphemism for diarrhea. It's like, oh man, I got Hershey Squirts.
I love how they crap it, like literally crap on the name of Hershey, essentially. Like
Yeah,
it's like, did someone like hate Hershey chocolate so much? Like, yeah, my shit, it looks like shit.
well, because like Mars shit don't, or Mars M&M shit don't.
Exactly.
Although Hershey makes Mars bars and M&Ms, I believe.
No, I think Mars is
So, no, maybe.
no Mars is a competing.
Didn't they? We're it's neither here nor there. But yeah, let's get it. Yeah, so easily distracting. All right, let's okay. Let me give you guys.
We are like today.
Yeah, we're professionals.
Exactly.
All right, let me hit y'all with the synopsis for the fall of the Roman Empire. All right. Towards the end of his reign, Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius intends to hand over his throne to the steadfast soldier Livius. Before he can enact his intentions, a loyalist to Commodus, the de facto heir, poisons Aurelius Commodus becomes an ineffectual leader, corrupt and pompous. And although Livius concedes to Commodus' rule, he cannot stand by when Commodus threatens to kill Aurelius' daughter, Lucilla. Lucilla, played by the Tasty Slice. Confirmed. Sophia Loren.
Yeah, this movie was well, obviously this is our box office flops month. It lost a ton of money.
Oh yeah.
It's actually,
Yeah.
I think, one of the
Yeah. Okay. So like we
ever,
have two separate accounts. So one says that it's 16 million, and the other is 20 million. So it lost. So the budget. Sorry, the budget for this movie was between 16 to 20 million. You know, and if it's the 20 million, it's still not including like marketing material and all the other like little extras. But the total box office earning was just shy of $5 million, 4.8 million to be precise.
and I think this is one of the last, or two of the movies that we're doing this month were epic. You know, the big,
Yeah, kind of like the sword and sandals type of epics.
yeah, and this is, I think, one of the very last that were done. This meant that both the movies that we're going to talk about lost a shit ton.
Yeah, yeah,
They were full of money.
yeah. I mean, yeah, this movie only made five. So it literally only made 20%. If we're gonna use the 20 million, let's just round. If we're rounding up and saying 5 million, and we use a $20 figure, it literally only made back one fourth, quarter of its no,
Yeah,
yes, yeah, quarter of its budget.
that's terrible. Well, and the crazy thing about it is that the film itself is actually, I personally think, it's pretty good. Um, I think the
As
story,
do I. I thought it was
yeah,
really great. Like the scale of it, the caliber of actors
yeah,
cast in this
we have
movie. Dude, Alec
great
Guinness.
actors.
You put Alec Guinness in anything, it's good.
Oh, him as Marcus Aurelius was perfect. I mean, he looks like Marcus Aurelius.
Right? Yeah. If you ever seen a bust of Marcus Aurelius, it's like, is that Alec Guinness or is that Marcus Aurelius? Not to shit on who's the one that the actor in Gladiator that played Marcus Aurelius.
Mm, I
He also
forget who
played.
that was.
Yeah, he was the first one to play Dumbledore in the Harry Potter movies.
Um,
Yeah, his name
I forget
escapes me.
the guy that died, right? He's
Yeah,
dead.
Richard something. But anyways, yeah. But not to shit on that actor's performance because I really liked that actor's performance. Richard Harris. That's who it was. I knew I was gonna get there.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I liked his
but
performance as well. But like in terms of physicality, I think uh, Alec Guinness gets it.
so the one thing uh, with the movie is obviously there you have the love between Olivia and Scylla, uh, and they can't quite seem to come together, and it seems like all these obstacles keep getting in the way. So obviously you have like this love story between two characters. You have the idea that the empire is where we're seeing when we're looking at the Roman Empire in this film, it's at its height, but the events that take place are what caused the beginning and of the empire. And it deals with a lot of the wars up in the the northern territories with the Germanic tribes, and then it's also
right, Vindobona, which
rebellion.
is present day Vienna.
Yeah, and then you also have like the rebellions that were rising east around that too, and so like so you have all these tension going on with the empire, with between, between the characters, and it's just so good. But let me talk about the set design because first of all, with these epics, they're always filmed on location. Like I think a lot of this is filmed in Spain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, like that one part like, where it's actually snowing. Yeah, it was snowing. That was they were filming that during like a blizzard.
Right, yeah, like some like a lot of the times when you watch these movies, and particularly when like they're supposed to represent like cold, frigid climates, you see the snow falling, but you miss the. I think the smallest detail, which is like I think what really sells it, is the breath.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch a lot of shows or movies now, when whenever they do a scene where people uh, are supposed to be in like some intemperate, frigid climate, you never see the cold. You never see their breath.
Yeah,
But you never see the cloud. Hot air coming from their mouths. Or if they do, they digitally insert it, and it looks completely wrong.
yeah. No, this is they were
But
freezing
yeah,
their ass.
but in this movie, yeah, they shot in like the frigid, climate, and you can see the breath, and it's like natural. As they are, talking or breathing heavily, it's just like clouds. Just like that's right. Which sells it even better. That it's like it's supposed to be cool.
Yeah, then the Roman Forum, they built a 92,000 square meter replica of the Roman. Holy yeah, that's
Right.
huge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like that whole like area that they built up was just phenomenal.
Right. I mean, they built ramps and stairs, and just like the level of detail in the sets was just awe-inspiring.
Costume design was great.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, like everyone was like ornate and I dare say period accurate. I
yeah,
think maybe taking some liberties like with like the soldiers crests on their helmet, or kind of like the ornamentation of like their armor. But I mean, mostly accurate,
right.
I'd say.
Um, and then
But
the music.
yeah,
Well, the music was also just fantastic. That actually won them an Academy. I think it won them some sort of award. I'm not sure if it was like a Golden Globe or an Academy Award or something.
right, but yeah, yeah. But
Um,
people who watch this movie, I think, I alluded to it earlier, but you might find it there might be some familiar elements in this movie, and I obviously noticed it, and that it reminded me a lot of the movie Gladiator from 2002 or 2001.
I think
Because
yeah,
that because that movie also centered around Marcus Aurelius and his children, and the soldier that he that Marcus Aurelius thought of as a son and wanted him to succeed him. Uh, but he has like this conflict, and but before he could answer Marcus Aurelius, he ends up dying, and so
yeah,
and it culminates in a hand-to-hand combat, in front of a crowd. So a lot of familiar beats to this movie. If you've seen Gladiator, you'll watch this movie. It's like I see where Ridley Scott got his inspiration.
oh yeah, yeah. He's probably watched one of these sort of samples from thousands or all over. Um, the you also see like obviously I think after like the chariot ride event, I think like everyone you had like chariot battle between Olivia
Right, a la Ben Hur. Yeah.
and comedy. Yeah, that's like oh yeah, they clearly sold out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a really great.
What was that last bit?
I thought it looked great. I thought no, I was saying it's like it's just a great little movie. And the
Mm-hmm.
story is if, you're looking for like best epic, I wouldn't say this is the best one. I would recommend Ben Hur as uh, over this one, but it's still pretty dang good.
Mm-hmm. um, was anything surprise you about this movie?
I was I thought it was gonna be. I guess if anything was like surprising, I would say it's like I was just like surprised at how like like the how well it was acted, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised at how it like why it lost. I'd be curious why it lost so much. Was it they just spent so much money, and or was it something else that was just at the box office that caused people to not want to go see it? Was it potentially was it too long? I know that was some of the you know critics did not like the length. They felt like the act they didn't like how it was acted. Felt like it was just too much in one film.
Mm-hmm.
But there wasn't like surprising. You obviously like see how this movie was influenced by past effects, how it influenced other films of its time. Later movies that I mean, yeah, like once you mentioned that, I was like, oh yeah, duh.
Yeah. Um, well, maybe uh, a theory as to why it bombed in the box office. Maybe it was just kind of like I don't know if it was necessarily coined uh, uh, today, but maybe it was just kind of well, not franchise, but I guess genre fatigue. Kind of like how they're people like kind of how uh, the way they're justifying the flops for Star Wars movies. It's just like, oh, it's just franchise fatigue. Even though at the time, Marvel was still going strong, but maybe at this point in cinema, people were kind of getting tired of like the big epics. And this movie came out in 1964, and
You might be right
so
about that, but you look, but I think that question might be better answered when you watch Cleopatra later this month,
all right, are those
because
movies
that
contemporaries?
yeah, the Cleopatra came out in 1963, the year before this one, and
Uh-huh.
it was technically now here's that movie lost a lot of money because they spent shit nearly bankrupted Fox, but the it was a box office success. Like it made a lot of money in the box office, just didn't make you know enough to cover the losses or cover the production costs. And
Did it even break even though?
uh, um, it was I think it was close to breaking. Like we'll get into that like a little bit later. But I'm wondering if like this one was like a box office success. Will we see like was this one much dramatic or like was something done better? Um, was or like said is it just completely genre?
Yeah, genre fatigue.
But because we're moving in from we're coming from like the 40s, 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s, where like, going to a I have you don't want an hour film. You want to be there for theater. By the time the 60s hit, people probably didn't want that. And to think that not 5 years later, we're getting films like Midnight Cowboy after seeing movies like this, and it feels like two completely different decades series.
What was that last bit?
No, what I was saying is like you get like a movie like this one, and 5 years later, you get like a movie like Midnight Cowboy, 69, and it's almost like it's on a different line.
Right. Even though they came out relatively close to each other.
Right.
Yeah, it was really weird. In terms of story wise, the only thing that really surprised me was the revelation that Commodus wasn't Marcus Aurelius' son.
Yeah, because that's not true.
Right. I know that wasn't true, but for the sake of the story in this movie, I thought I was actually really blindsided by that.
Yeah, it was. Well, no. It was. No, he was his son, but it was
No,
Livius that was.
he was. Yeah, I mean, no, but he wasn't like Marcus Aurelius' biological son. Because that gladiator trainer came out and said like, oh no, I'm his father. Me and the empress, got it on, and that's how Commodus was conceived.
Okay, yeah. Well, and then like but in this case, like in this film, Marcus Aurelius had heirs.
Right, technically, he didn't have an heir, and maybe that's why he wanted Livius to be his successor, because he knew
Right.
because he knew Commodus wasn't his son, and he couldn't trust, even though he, maybe there was like that, kind of this bias towards him, knowing the fact that he wasn't his son, so maybe he didn't show him as much love as he did Lucilla. But he, even though despite his best efforts to try to raise him, he just saw that he wouldn't have been a good emperor.
Yeah.
Because I think as much liberty they took with this movie, I think they still try to keep. Well, I mean, even to some degree, a lot of stuff we know about Marcus Aurelius, is kind of romanticized, because everyone knows, or everyone is familiar with Marcus Aurelius, like the philosopher king, but he was earlier in his life, he was all about the conquest.
Yeah. Well, I mean that was part of all those past it expanded to its great.
Right.
So yeah, they were all about the conquering.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like the rule of empire. If you have an empire, you have to conquer some people to help subsidize and to keep things going. I mean, because I think historically and in the movie they admit that Egypt and Syria is the breadbasket of the empire, because there's not much agricultural industry within the, the physical country of Italy. They're having all their, this is historic also, not just in the movie, but they're having all their food shipped in from somewhere else. Similarly to the United States, how they got all the industries have mostly been outsourced to China. And our supply lines have lengthened, or are completely out of our control.
Not a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think one of the blessings of this pandemic is the realization that we need to start being able to take care of ourselves and fend for ourselves. And one of those is shortening supply lines.
Mm-hmm. What was there like a scene from this movie that like stood out to you that you really liked, that was like really powerful to you?
A scene that stood out to me that was powerful. I think, well, the one that kind of like sticks with me for multiple reasons is that scene where James Mason's character converts the barbarians, essentially.
Yes, that was well.
Yeah, I thought I actually really liked that scene. But it was so funny because he acted it. James Mason, God bless him. But the acting was like pretty hammy. And
Yes, it was.
and the kind of incongruent in that like they're like basically burning his hand, but it's like the next scene when he stands before the Roman Senate and he's like arguing like why they should make the barbarians Roman citizens. His hand is like completely fine, even though he like even though as he's talking he like kind of rubs his arm or like kind of like the wrist area to like to imply that it was damaged, or
Right, right.
there's some like unseen damage that he's like hiding or whatever. Uh, but yeah, I really like that scene because it's he got to show he got to show the barbarians like the resolve of Roman citizens,
Right, right.
which ultimately converted them because they come from an honor culture. And James Mason's character, he could have screamed and had the guards come in and like just end up slaughtering all of them, but he showed them the Roman resolve, and so like converted them, and even like uh, you know forsook their gods. And and James Mason's character, he's like surprised, like, no, I'm not saying that you have to give up your your gods or your traditions. But but then like the barbarian responds back like, but I thought you wanted us to be Romans. So that means, so it's like if we're gonna be Romans, then we're gonna be Romans. That means we're gonna adopt Roman values. We're gonna adopt Roman traditions. We're gonna be Roman.
Yeah, I kind of like the scene at the last scene where they're yeah, Commodus is dead under uh, uh, Livius as emperor, and he's like, "You don't want me as emperor because my first order of business crucify every single you, and like him and Drusilla exit the scene. They walk away and you see like this giant fire that they burning to death and sacrifice the argument against the senator trying to bribe the army to shoot them. And it's just uh, it's obviously it's talking about the fall of the Roman Empire. It's you see like as the movie ends, the whole thing descended into chaos.
Right. Yeah. That was again. We're of the same mind. I just thought it was so. I thought it was so crazy how um, their society became so corrupt that the title of emperor can be bought, or at least in the minds of those senators, it could be bought. And
Yeah,
and it was crazy because like that one senator bribed that general. It's like, hey, like no matter who wins, if you claim me, if you pronounce me as emperor, I'll pay you. I think it was like 1,000,000 dinar or whatever, which I think
it's a lot of
it's in today's money is a shit ton of money. Like more, it's probably more than like all the richest men in America. Fine, that's
yeah,
how it was like he was essentially promising the world that's what that senator was offering that guard that general. It's like I'm giving you the world, just make me the emperor. But then because of honor or whatever, the general proclaims Livius as Caesar, and as like you were saying, he said that you don't want me to be Caesar because my first act would be to kill y'all. But it was crazy because they were like they try to buy the emperor, the emperor title. So one senator is like, oh, I'll give you 2 million, or I'll give you 2.5, and it's like constantly, as they're walking away, this is like they're trying to buy the throne,
yeah,
and it's like that's how
good,
corrupt this become.
right. Well, I mean, even like the whole, I'm saying real life, Marcus Aurelius died of natural causes, but this, um, they didn't like in the movie. They didn't like Aurelius. They put, so what they did is they worked to kill him so that they would, because they knew that Commodus would did not his father's empire. So by putting him in, uh, it kind of it changed, you know, how so it, like you said, it had already kind of started to descend into corruption. Uh, you see that small uh, that small turn into the descendant chaos that we see at the end of the film.
Right? Yeah, because even like Commodus, like after Commodus, sends the messengers and to tell Livius like, hey, if you come back, we'll be co-emperors. You'll be by my side. We'll rule the empire together. But then he immediately, and then Livius sends back his reply, which is to send the messengers back, in humiliation. And it was immediately at that point when Commodus orders that all the gold off the public sculptures and buildings be ripped, be pulled out, just so we can have enough money, to bribe the rebel army, which does work, sadly to say.
Yeah, they gave it because I think Soldier like I think it was denarius or two a day, and they were being offered 3,000.
Yeah, 3,000 each. 3,000 each to each soldier, and
yeah.
So yeah, yeah, like the joke was, like I think it was Lucilla who said like there's not enough gold in the entire empire for that, and all of a sudden it's like I got receipts, and so like it gives a signal and the wagons come forward, like all this gold, all these newly minted dinar.
Yeah.
Which goes to show you another problem is like devaluing of the currency.
Yeah.
I think historically, Marcus Aurelius did reduce the purity of the silver of the dinar by adding more base metals into it. Um, but again, that all it did, it just devalued the currency, which then which led to inflation.
Right. And
Which
then
we
it became
see
the point where like the money became almost useless. So
exactly. Yeah, so
people
like
wouldn't
the
even take.
percentage of base metals was starting to become more than the percentage of actual silver. So like so making it utterly useless.
Which is slowly what our is doing.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't. I don't think I have anything else on this film.
Yeah, neither do I.
Well, let's
So yeah, let's wrap it up. Let's give our ratings.
give our
And,
review. I'm gonna give this a. I'm gonna give it a 3. Just because I love the set design so much.
mm-hmm.
I love the idea of them filming kind of realistic as possible. That's why I love this genre of film. I think the acting is pretty good. Yeah, got pretty high caliber talent, and the music was fantastic. Story was not too bad. It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was not the best epic film, but decent one. I think it's one that people should check out.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna give this a 3 as well. Not again, not the best epic in the history of cinema, but yeah, I think the merits of its set design and a lot of like the technical things around this movie do save it, or do keep it within north of a 2 rating. And again, and then also like you said, the casting was on point. The caliber of actors was just perfection.
Oh yeah, it was very well.
And so yeah, for those reasons, I'm gonna give this Fall of the Roman Empire a 3 as well.
Oh, yeah,
All right. Yeah.
just working like 10-hour days, killing people.
All right then. Yeah, let's wrap this up. That's our review for Fall of the Roman Empire. Both Robert and I give this a 3. We would recommend it, um, but I would say, and I think Robert would agree, watch the truth, the Stefan Molynuex video, "Truth of the Fall of the Roman Empire,"
Yeah,
first. Then I mean, and you could totally stagger this because that Stefan Molynuex video is like 2 hours long. This movie is like close to 3 hours long, so yes, stagger it out, or
yeah.
chop it up, chop up. I would recommend watching the Stefan Molynuex video straight through, but you could chop watch the movie.
You can split into 3 acts.
Yeah, exactly.
I think for next week we'll do 47 Ronin.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of want to end. I want to end.
What was that last bit?
I wanted to end the month with Cleopatra.
Okay. All right, for sure. All right, so yeah, next week will be the movie 47 Ronin, starring Keanu Reeves. And we'll be ending the month with Cleopatra, starring Elizabeth Taylor. All right. Well, yeah, that's our show for tonight. Thank you for sticking with us through all the little hiccups tonight. I know it must not have been easy. Believe me, on our end, it wasn't that enjoyable either. But again, thank you for sticking it out with us. Don't forget to check out the library of other shows that we have: the Circulatory's main podcast, the Nocturnal Transmissions, of course, and Robert's gaming show, Up by Up Down. Don't forget, yeah, we did drop a new episode of the main podcast with friend of the show, Matt Wade. So do give that a listen to. Don't forget to follow us on our various social media accounts. Twitter at PodcastCOJ. And as an incentive, just to keep up with the tasty slices that we're going to highlighting, crowning, bestowing. So if you're even remotely interested in that, please do give us a follow on Instagram at Circulatories Podcast, and follow us on Letterboxd at PodcastCOJ. That's where we'll have movie reviews, more condensed movie reviews than the ones that we provide on Nocturnal Transmissions. So give us a follow. All of those are linked at the bottom. What?
I had to catch up on a few of those few weeks.
All right, get on it. All right, we want to thank you again for joining us. Please join us again next week, same time-ish. And see you next week. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
All right.